So, Crohn's disease. You clearly want to know something about this phenomenon of an illness, or you're just here to tell me how wrong I am about everything I'm going to say. Which, if this is the case, I should briefly disclaim before the video starts that I'm by no means a professional in this area at all. All of the information I'll be sharing here today is based purely off my research into published documents and talking to a Crohn's patient, so this video should not be considered as medical advice or anything of similar sorts. Of course, all of the sources and documents used will be linked in the description. Right, so Crohn's disease is first and foremost an inflammatory bowel disease, IBD for short, which means that it causes your guts to get really swollen and sore. It is non-communicable, so it can't be spread from person to person. It's also commonly referred to as being a chronic condition, due to it being a lifelong disease. However, it is most commonly diagnosed between the ages of 10 and 40. Nobody currently knows exactly what causes Crohn's, although there are many different factors thought to affect the chances of developing it based on certain studies conducted within the last few decades. Unfortunately, there is currently no cure for Crohn's, although there are many different and effective treatment methods available, like special liquid diets and certain drugs. Overall, Crohn's is just a very elusive and mysterious disease, making so many people's lives such a struggle. The difficulties in Crohn's arise from the many horrible symptoms patients experience, including stomach pains, reoccurring diarrhea, which can contain mucus, pus or blood, fatigue, and many more. Fatigue is caused from both the illness preventing the proper absorption of nutrients and the patient's lack of sleep from constantly getting up in the night. Despite the vast number of symptoms, most people won't experience all of them. Some may experience very few, and some may experience loads. Everybody is affected differently. For those of you interested in what happens within the patient, it's quite unpleasant. The ulceration of the gut is what reduces nutrient absorption, and small tunnels can form in them too, known as abscesses and fistulas. These can affect where food matter ends up in the body. Patients are found to have Crohn's after quite a lot of investigation from doctors, generally starting from suspicions due to the patient having any of these for several weeks or longer: diarrhea, stool containing blood or mucus, abdominal pain, or weight loss. The doctors will then ask them for stool samples for bacteria culturing to locate and rule out infection. After this, blood tests will be conducted. Once these results are obtained, if Crohn's is likely, then the doctors will conduct an endoscopy of sorts. A very small camera is inserted through your mouth to observe the gut, and take biopsies for further analysis. Once this stage has been reached, the doctors will likely have a relatively solid conclusion of whether the patient has Crohn's or not, and will discuss treatment plans. On the topic of treatment plans, there are quite a lot of options available to Crohn's patients today, including drug prescriptions such as aminosalicylates and immunosuppressants, biologics like infliximab and adalimumab, and other medications such as antidiarrheals, all of which are used to help reduce the severity of symptoms. Aside from drugs, patients can also be put on a special liquid diet for around 6 weeks. No food, just a special nutritious milk. This treatment is generally used for newly diagnosed younger patients, but it is also used to try and help patients having a flare-up to get back into remission. Unfortunately, right now, there isn't a definite cure for Crohn's, or a perfect treatment, as each patient reacts differently to each treatment plan. There have been many studies this century on different ways to improve the treatment for Crohn's. Bayo-CEH et al. Wrote about an experiment in 2014 to find the impact of herb-partitioned moxibustion combined with acupuncture on patients, revealing that this form of treatment is safer and more effective at treating Crohn's patients.
Another study, carried out by Case Western Reserve University, discovered that a high-fat diet may lead to specific changes in gut bacteria that could fight harmful inflammation. These, along with many more studies, are helping us to better understand what Crohn's is and how we can best support those suffering with it. Thank you for taking some time out of your day to watch this short video about Crohn's. It really means a lot to me. Like I said before, I am by no means a professional, I'm just a sixth form student, but all of the information here has been thoroughly researched from reliable sources, which will all be in the description. I will also be leaving a link to Crohn's and Colitis UK, who are a charity dedicated to supporting those with Crohn's. Also, if you have experience with Crohn's disease and feel I missed something very important, feel free to let me know in the comments. Anyway, thank you for staying this long. Have a great day.